Guanajuato, Mexico. Yeah, something strange happened tonight. In a week of searching for higher speed internet to upload my videos, I came up on the rooftop terrace of our beautiful new home in central Mexico. And instead of using Wi-Fi at the place where I live, which is lethally slow, especially the upload speed, I said, let me get the video from let me do the upload from my phone because I can turn my phone into a mobile hotspot. So I said, well, let me try it. So I uploaded a video, a huge video, at the highest upload speed I have ever used, 27. Even in Tucson, Arizona, when I had high-speed internet. Hey, how you doing, brother? It's Jesus. Well, hello, Jesus. Welcome to the chat. Happy to have you here. Somebody's place says that Jesus is here. Let's welcome our friend Jesus while we're at it. Mohammed, Buddha, Abraham, Moses. I mean, who else what should we bring in here? Michael Jackson, no, he's dead. Forget, well, all the other guys are dead too. So anyway, doing a little chat from Guanajuato to talk about this incredible place that I now live. And thank you for the comments are coming in here. Eric Anderson likes my shirt. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I like it too. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Guanajuato tonight, and I'm also going to talk about what's coming up on the Jazz Video Guide channel this week and in the not too distant future, because there's some cool videos coming up. So let me change my position here. I'm going to get into the lotus position, which is a bit more comfortable for me. Here we go. Yeah, so Thursday, May 26th, Mr. Mingus 63. It's a world-class view. I was telling my girlfriend Sherrie tonight, you know, we rent this place at least for 13 months, maybe a few months more, we don't know. Like to buy a house here. Going to be really hard leaving here. This is $1 million view. You just don't get this in many places. So back to not August, Namyo Horenge Kyo. Yes, I have spent a lot of time chanting Namyo Horenge Kyo, Namyo Horenge Kyo, Namyo Horenge Kyo, Namyo Horenge Kyo, Namyo Horenge Kyo. Yeah. Buddhism, Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism. I once chanted with Wayne Shorter. I once did what's called Daimoku with Wayne Shorter. That's not really a ceremony. It's a practice. No, I forgot it. It's years ago. You read it from a little book. Richard Thurston says, "Welcome to Guanajuato." Yeah, Guanajuato is a very welcoming place. I must say, I've lived in some cool places in my life, but this is undoubtedly the coolest city I've ever lived in so many respects. First of all, beautiful, amazing place, a lot of history. I've been learning Spanish. It's challenging, but it's like learning a musical instrument. Just practice, you stay with it. It doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen for me because I want to learn. I want to talk to the people there, the people here in more depth. I'm fascinated by their stories. Yes, I'm on my roof. There is a terrace on my roof. We rented a beautiful home, as I said. Why is Guanajuato an amazing city? Well, every city has good and bad. Guanajuato has slow winter and a few other bad things. But overall, it's a fantastic place. It's a beautiful place. It's a colonial city, called the most beautiful city in Mexico. It's a city, well, especially in the Centro district, which is where we're located. You walk every place, and it's a city in a bowl. So you're always walking and walk up and down hills, which is really great for exercise, but challenging. The street that we live on, straight up for like a quarter mile to get from the main street to our house, which is absolutely fantastic. You can't ask for better aerobics, better cardio. I don't have to go to a gym. I just have to walk up. And as the way my life is, I'm walking up there 4 or 5 times a day. That's Gongyo I did with Wayne. That is correct. You belong to Sokogakai. Yeah, Gongyo. I would advise people to check that out. In fact, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this. But Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism. Do I have a guest room for old pals? Not here, but in the house next house. But let me tell you something. Staying here is very inexpensive. This is not a very expensive city. Yeah, I mean, you could find a nice place to stay at Airbnb for $25 or $30 a night. The more you spend, obviously, you get something else. But a lot of artists here. A lot of visual artists, a lot of musicians. Some jazz artists, not a lot. And a lot of venues, and a lot of music on the street. And it's a very creative, lively place. There's a university here. A lot of young people. I think it's like 15,000 students. My name is Perry, and my dad was Marky Markowitz. Yes, Marky Markowitz was a wonderful trumpet player. Thanks for signing in. Mr. Diaz or Ms. Diaz says, welcome to Mexico. And lots of rooftop statues. Yes, there are a lot of rooftop statues here, including me. No. I'm not a statue yet, although I felt one like about an hour ago, right? Because we did a lot of up and down today, very, very steep up and down with heavy packages, and then ending that with a walk. It was supposed to be a taxi or an Uber, but I couldn't get one across town to have a nice meal. And walking back, when we came back to the house, I was flat on the bed for, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. I couldn't move. So what is the best thing about Guanajuato? The people here. The people here are absolutely wonderful. I mean, in addition to the artists, and there are some people from all around the world. There is a wonderful Mexican indigenous peoples vibe here. Mexicans are just great people, very warm, friendly, creative, hardworking, family-oriented. I could go on, and I will, in future videos about life in Mexico. So, very, very cool place. Cost of living half of what it is in the United States for the most part. The food is just unbelievable. The street food, one could live on the street food alone. I mean, there's a guy downstairs, the tamale guy. His tamales are 50 cents. 2 tamales and a couple of eggs is breakfast. There are fancier restaurants as well. Last night we had vegetables tempura. Not a Mexican dish, but in a really cool place with a lot of very interesting dishes. So now, I don't know if the background you hear, there's a marching band practicing or something over there. I hear the drums. I'm using a lav mic, so you might not necessarily pick up on that. So that's a brief summary of Guanajuato. There'll be more about that now that I live here. And now on to the Jazz Video Guide channel. What's going to be happening this week? Oh, we've been there 1 week. We are celebrating our first week here in Guanajuato. My girlfriend Sherrie has been here 9 times. She was the catalyst for this move when we were together during the pandemic and thought about maybe we should go someplace else. She said, Guanajuato. Never heard of the place. I'd never really only been to Mexico, to Nogales, a border town, and Rocky Point, a crummy beach town. She said, started telling me about it. We started watching videos, and then January we came here for 18 days. By the first day I knew this is why I want to live here. And it's a love affair. Whoop. Hold on a second here. It's windy, it's very windy up here. It even moved the tripod. How do you like that? Okay. So coming this week on the Jazz Video Guide channel, a couple of interesting things. First of all, Miles Davis's birthday is on May 26th. And I always like to do something special for Miles as a lifelong Miles Davis enthusiast. And one of my favorite Miles groups was his 1970 band that featured Keith Jarrett, Gary Bartz, Michael Henderson and Jack DeJohnette. Uh, that was a really important band. I got a chance to see them live. Uh, and there's some existing video of that band because they made a tour at the end of the year to Europe. Jack didn't make the tour, and Duco Chancellor did, adding M. Tume and Don Elias on percussion. So I have some videos of that I put together with an interview I did with Gary Bartz. Now, Gary has played with Charles Mingus. He's played with, thank you for the nice thoughts about my presence on the Mexican jazz scene. So Gary Bartz, Max Roach, McCoy Tyner, Charles Mingus, and Miles Davis, amongst his own groups. And so Gary is an old friend of mine. We worked together on a fantastic project. Oh, you saw them, great, yeah. Well, they weren't in 82 because that band was only around for 80. You probably saw a different configuration. But Gary and I worked on a project called Bebop in 1979, which was a theatricalized jam session. That also, thank you for the comments about my health. My health is great, thank God, a miracle, modern science. Bebop, a theatricalized jam session with Gary Bartz and Walter Davis Jr. and Charlie Persip and Bob Cunningham. Concept was jazz theater workshop, teach jazz musicians to act, do live theater where musicians play the instruments, not someone off stage, adding to some real excitement. You saw them twice. Oh, it was $2 in 1982. Oh my God, $2, yeah. I saw them at the Cafe à Go-Go. I don't know. I can't remember exactly how much it cost. So Gary has been a friend since then. Of course, I dug Gary's music. All of it is at Two Troop and everything he's done. Seen him many times with McCoy. So I said, I'll put together these videos with Gary's thoughts on that band. And are you picking up the wind, or is my windscreen that good? Can somebody leave a comment about that? Because the wind is blowing up here like crazy. Okay, second thing coming up here this week, Denny Zeitlin, the pianist. Interestingly, Denny is also, it's windy, you're picking up on it, okay. Well, I won't make this a long video because I don't want people to endure the sound of the wind. Denny Zeitlin, who's a jazz pianist of some note, in addition to being a psychiatrist and a wine connoisseur and a mountain biker and what else is it? Fly fisherman, ballroom dancer. Guy's all over the place. Anyway, in the late 60s, he made his auspicious debut on Columbia Records with his trio recordings. Yeah, I agree. Gary is criminally underrated. So then he made these trio recordings and also an incredible recording with Jeremy Steig that were all produced by the great John Hammond. And when the wind is carrying the marching band up to you. Okay, that's interesting. So Denny moved to the Bay Area, and where he did his psychiatric residency and started practicing, and was still playing. And he, a friend of his, financed a recording where Denny played electroacoustic music. It was the first time he was in the synthesizer zone. This was in the very early days of synthesizers, when they weren't very advanced like they are today. And you had to play with wires and do a lot of crazy stuff just to get a few voices. So in 1969, he did a recording with his collaborators, George Marsh and Mel Graves. They were working around town at the, I got it online, the shirt. I can't remember the store, but look for it online. So they were working at the Both and the Fillmore and some other places. And let's see. Yes, I know about Rick. Rick does some really good work. And the Pat Metheny interview is excellent. John Schofield interview is excellent. So Denny, his friend financed this recording of Denny playing with electric instruments and also writing lyrics for his music, something he'd never done, and recording it in a studio over one weekend. So they printed up some copies. They wanted to like get someone to finance a larger project. And oh, wait a second, my microphone came out. That when I moved my camera, I knocked out the microphone, and that's why you're picking up all the wind. Is that better? Can you hear better now? My apologies for the last 4 or 5 minutes there. This is the way it is in these one-person productions, you know? I just do it spontaneously. I don't schedule them. I just do them when I feel like it. So anyway, unfortunately, the whole section with Gary Bartz, the audio is horrible. But I will say this: starting on Thursday, I'll be posting some incredible videos of Gary Bartz talking about playing with Miles Davis, the story of that remarkable band, some really hot stuff about Gary and Keith Jarrett. That was the only time Keith played electric instruments. I thought he did it very well. It was very interesting. So those videos live in Europe and Gary's thoughts on Miles and the band and how that came together. Denny Zeitlin, I did some videos with him here. Those are going to be coming up as well. These are like, with the Gary Bartz, there'll probably be 5, 6, or 7 videos. I don't know if I'm going to put them all up on Miles's birthday or scatter them, but there'll be about 7 of them. With Denny, there's about 4 or 5 as well. Tomorrow, I am interviewing a guy named Tony Cohan. Tony is a writer, a very interesting guy who's now 82 years old. He lives down the street here on Tecolote in Guanajuato. And when Tony was in his early 20s, he lived in Europe. He played the drums, and he played with Bud Powell. He played with Hello Berlin. Somebody from Berlin is online, honey. Played with Bud Powell, Dexter Gordon, Tate Montalou. So he's going to share some of his thoughts. He's written a number of books, one of which the title, I forget. I'll post it when I post the interviews with him. In that book, he talks about a night with Bud Powell that is just, first of all, some of the best writing about jazz I've ever read, but also some of the most powerful emotional content I've read. I mean, books don't usually bring me to tears. The written word usually doesn't bring me to tears, but in this case it did in that book when he wrote about Bud. So I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to start those videos because I'm pretty busy. Now, I got very lucky here tonight with a very fast upload speed. I don't know if this is going to continue. Maybe it will, which would be fantastic, or maybe it won't. But if it doesn't, and uploading videos is a pain here, I'll probably be posting less videos until I get high-speed internet. I am in the oldest part of the city. Some of these buildings are 200 and 300 years old, and they're not really set up for internet wiring. Okay, so Richard says, looks like you're up on Tecolote. I can probably see your place from mine. Somebody from Guanajuato's online here. Where is your place, Richard? Do you know Richard Thurston?
I know the name.
Sherrie knows you. Do you know my girlfriend, Sherrie Posternak? Do you know my dog, Nato? What Miles doc would you recommend a fan to watch? You know something? The best one I've seen recently was the one that Stanley Nelson did on PBS, I guess about 6 months ago. I think it was called Kind of Blue. I'm not entirely sure. But, I would watch any Miles Davis documentary you can get your hands on because you're going to find good stuff. The good news is that YouTube has a lot of Miles. I have a lot of Miles videos. I have musicians talking about Miles. I don't think there's any Miles interview. Check out my interview with, not Mulgrew. Well, that's a good one too, although he doesn't talk about Miles. Birth of the Cool, that's on Netflix. Thank you. Well, Sherrie does not want to be on camera. Someone suggested I interview you. Do you want to be on camera or not?
Right now?
Yes.
My pajamas?
She can't be on camera. She's in her
I
pajamas.
can say hello, but
Well, okay, Sherrie, but you gotta come close because the lavalier mic is here. This is my girlfriend Sherrie, the catalyst for this new chapter in my life, living in Guanajuato, Mexico. Sherrie is an artist who does encaustic art, and she's wonderful. What can I say? Say hello to the world.
thank you. Hello, world.
Hello, world. Okay, you could go. Anyway, yeah. So it turns out the Miles doc is on Netflix. Now there was a Miles pseudo. It wasn't a documentary. It was a fiction film. The one that Don Cheadle did a couple years ago. People are responding to you, honey. They're putting up hearts.
Putting up hearts.
Yeah, Felicidades. That Miles Davis film with Dan Cheadle a few years ago, horrible. Like most jazz fiction on film, very, very few good jazz fiction has she drawn any musicians. So she doesn't draw; she creates in a different kind of way. I'll leave a link to her website in the description so you can see what she does. How's the wind, by the way? Because it's very, very windy now. So I'm curious if my windscreen is working. Now that I have my microphone plugged in, yeah, that's nice. I missed about 10 minutes there, 20 minutes. Oh, what are you going to do? Yeah, so that Miles film with Don Cheadle, whose title eludes me right now. Another in the long line of series. It's getting rough. Yeah. Here. I think so here's the deal here. Once the wind starts, it doesn't stop. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come back another time. If you like this stream, please subscribe and hit the gong button so that you'll be informed about when I'm about to do a broadcast. Because like I said, I just do them spontaneously when I feel like it. I'm organized in some ways and disorganized in others. So, coming up this week on Jazz Video Guy, Miles Davis, 1970, with Gary Bartz. Denny Zeitlin, The Name of This Terrain. Tony Cohan, and much, much more. So thanks for watching, and stay healthy and stay sane. Bye. Now the question is, how do I turn this off? Let's see. Is it still running? I haven't done this in a long time. Let me see. Yes, I want to stop streaming.